Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and I want to talk about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I absolutely love this movie. 5 out of 5 stars. Full spoilers for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes here. And what I want to talk about today is confirming prejudice in our narrative, and how tricky this is to avoid. And let's talk about confirming prejudice in our narrative, and whether we should do it or not. Okay, so basically, this movie has. Let's talk about the major characters of this film. There's 4 major characters of this film. Nova is the female human, right? And then Noah is the male chimpanzee, and the young male chimpanzee. And Raka is the old orangutan. He's much like Maurice, right? He serves the same purpose in this. And that's okay. I love that they moved the story, forward. And everybody loved Maurice, man. Maurice is this old wise sage. He's the best, right? And Raka serves the same purpose in here. And Raka is this follower of Caesar, right? And he puts forward the tenets of Caesar. He teaches the greatest teachings of the greatest teacher, right? And those teachings are together stronger, and ape not kill ape. And you're like, hey, this is just a couple of words. No, literally, you could put your these Raka was living by these words. And also protect books, right? That was another tenet of protect books, right? These symbols have meaning, right? These symbols have meaning. I love Raka. Raka was so good in this, right? But Raka said to Noah, you can't trust. He's like, don't put any weight on these humans. They're not capable of much, right? And then he also said, you have to be careful. You have to be careful trusting these humans, right? They could be duplicitous, right? Proximus was like, you cannot trust any human. You cannot trust any human, right? So then what does the movie say? Right, it's really interesting. I think it confirmed prejudice, right? Proximus said, "Hey, you cannot trust any human," right? And Noah's reaching out, and he really sacrifices, and he works with this human to destroy the weapons in the vaulted area that Proximus was trying to get to, because Proximus was very mean and very mean-spirited and very power hungry, right? So you get to this point where Nova, at the very end, she goes to see Nova goes to see Noah. At this point, Raka's dead and Proximus has been defeated, and Proximus is Proximus is dead. Proximus is absolutely dead. He got thrown off, got tore up by eagles and then thrown off a cliff, right? And so Proximus is dead, and so Nova goes to see Noah, right? And so I'm watching this, and she comes to see him, and she, just kind of stands there, and then Noah goes over to see Noah, and she's like, and first of all, she stole something out of the vault and did not tell Nova. So they worked together, but she took the treasure. That ain't cool. That would not be cool in any D&D game, right? And then finally, she goes to talk to him. They have this conversation, and they show us on the screen. She's wearing a poncho, right? And behind her back, out of the holster, she has a six-shot revolver behind her back, straight ready to gat Nova, right? I'm like, you guys work together, man. He helped you get this precious treasure. He sacrificed a ton to work with you, and you're ready to kill him right now. Exactly like Proximus, the villain, or was he? Right? The villain, or was he? Magneto was right. It's what are we learning here, right? It's deep, man. It is deep. Right? And so I was really kind of blown away with this story. And the reality is, when we come and we tell our Dungeons and Dragons stories, and this gets even more challenging because we have three narrators. We have three narrators. There are three narrators of this story of a Dungeons and Dragons story: Dungeon Master, Dragon Master, Fate Master. What is the Fate Master? The Fate Master is the dice. It interrupts the Dragon Master and the Dungeon Master. The dice tell story, the Dungeon Master tells story, the player tells story, right? So that's three different types. That's three different types of storytellers. What happens if we're confirming prejudice, right? And Hollywood is oblivious to this. They do this all the time. And the reason why is, like, we used to have this situation where we'd be like, hey, let's tell a moral in the story. And the moral was like, here's how you be a better person. But Hollywood can't be better people. They don't have any morality, so they can't really tell a moral story, right? Like, and so we have to be hyper aware of this. We have to do better than Hollywood. Wes Ball's a brilliant guy, but clearly his story confirmed the prejudice of the villain, right? How do we not do this? First, be aware of it. We need to be aware, right? We need to be aware of telling a moral story. And how do we do that? We choose to be moral people, right? And this is like big news to Hollywood. They're like, what? It's like, come on, man. Like, yeah, I don't know. So that's the issue. That is the issue, right? So I think that's really where this all lands, right? Is we need to be better people, and we need to be aware of our prejudices so that we don't allow the narrative to confirm our prejudices. Now, we can choose to do this as Dungeon Masters, and we can choose to do this as Dragon Masters, but the Fate Master may disagree with us, right? And there may be a story that confirms prejudice because the dice decided that was the way it was going to be, right? And I think we have to accept that, right? There's some risk. There's some risk in dungeon mastering. There's some risk in dragon mastering. But if we're going to avoid confirming prejudice in our narrative, we have to at least be aware of it, right? Whereas I think Wes Ball is completely oblivious that, like, if you watched his movie, you were like, oh yeah, all humans are evil, right? You can't trust them. Exactly like Proxima said, right? And I don't think that was Wes Ball's intent, but it's absolutely what he did. Still love the movie. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. Be careful of confirming the narrative in your Dungeons and Dragons narrative. Please consider, the important part here is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments, send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.